If you've never been to a home church before and you're thinking, what is home church? You know, I don't want to go to somebody's house and have church. I feel awkward doing that. You know, it is basically a bunch of friends getting together to study the Bible, to have a conversation with each other, to build each other up, to be a family.
Sometimes you can feel a little awkward just going into a group of people who may already know each other, but they want you to be there. All of the people in home church really want new people to come, and that's part of the reason that we have it, is so we can help create a sense of community with people who may not have plugged in yet. So I would say if you want more than just a hi, how you doing during meet and greet, then home church is the way to move to a higher level of friendship with people and to really feel plugged in.
I would encourage anybody, especially new people, to find a home church, and if they do not invite you, just invite yourself to be a part of one of the new groups. Get involved. They're anxious to meet, and most people are like you. There's a little bit of anxiety perhaps at first, but that quickly passes as you get involved and get to know people on a very, very personal, wonderful level.
Well, I think it's a wonderful way to become involved in each other's lives. We have found that the fellowship that we have in our home church has brought us together so closely. Their bond is very strong, and we're always there for one another in sickness and distress or whatever is happening in their lives. And it's also a way, a small group is such a good way to study the Bible more, and we can learn and do the practical applications of the lessons that we've learned on Sunday morning.
It's very low key, and if you want to talk, you can talk, and if you don't, you don't. If you just want to sit there and listen, that's fine too.
True, because I'm not as outgoing either, and I told Paula that it's taken a while. We've probably been in home church together for
4 or 5 years, something like that.
Together with Paula, and I told Paula that we're going to be fantastic friends when we're gray-headed. It just takes me a long time to get there. So, and we're moving along, and I see some gray hairs on Paula's head.
Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend.
I like it when right before we eat pizza or we eat dinner, we sing a few songs, and then every single time Anna picks Holy, 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 and Holland always picks Jesus Love Me without the me's.
One real specific story that I can think of is Sheila Irwin. As soon as we told our small group that we were planning to adopt and this was kind of what we were going to be doing, Sheila actually made a note on her calendar that popped up on her phone every day at a certain time. And so for this whole process, she's been praying for us every day at that appointed time when it pops up on her calendar, which was incredibly significant to us. But we wouldn't have had a relationship with her at all probably unless we somehow managed to sit in her corner of the pew if we hadn't plugged into home church.
I can think of a time not too long ago going through a pretty tough time in my life, and it was about 2 years ago. And I can't explain what it's like to have a whole group of people to walk with you through that time. Throughout that course of 7 or 8 months, what took place was a volley of texts, emails, phone calls, hugs at church, coming and checking with me. Hey, how are you doing? What's going on? What's happening right now? And there's no way in this world you can put a value on that. But I know just for my wife and I to go through it was tough, but yet we had a whole group of people to walk with us through that time. Such a blessing. I mean, I can't even explain it probably in words, but that group of people literally carried me through God's help through that whole time period in my life. And I'm convinced of that. God used my home church that He placed me in years ago to get me through this time. And it's hard to say that without even being emotional, because they literally carried me through that time period in my life. And for that, I mean, it is such a blessing, and I cannot thank them enough. They actually reminded me to remain faithful and to follow God's footsteps in this time in my life. So, such a blessing.